This is Wiggum from Reddit Omega bringing you a recap of wars number 224 and 225. It's been a while since I've done a recap, and the reason is I was over in an RWCS clan trying to match against Clash Babes that didn't quite work out. And then we also had an internal clan scrimmage. And whenever we do that, we kind of keep that to ourselves because we're trying a lot of experimental attacks and experimental base designs, and we kind of want to keep our cards close to our chest there. Also, in the interim, we had a nice plug from Jake from One Hive, who did a video, a hitchhiker video, where he came over to Reddit Omega, featured some of our attacks, and said some very nice things about our clan and our recent results. So thank you to him. And on a personal note, I was glad he covered one of my attacks. I've got two wars for you tonight. I've got war number 224 and 225. The first war was against a French-Canadian clan. And you'll note that it was a 25v25 war because many of our members were over at Omicron as Omicron celebrated clan level 9, so congratulations to them. You'll note we were up against a 2-star clan, so it was a pretty straightforward win. But I'm going to show you 5 attacks from this war. I'm going to start with the TH10 Triple from Stingray. Beautiful attack. The way he planned out his troops here is just delightful to see. So we start with a couple of minions. This is to create a direction for his AQ walk. You'll note we've got an AQ walk with some Valkyries. It's kind of an AQ walk Govaho with some giants thrown in, and you'll see why. So he's going to EQ to open up he's going to connect the two Infernos essentially. He's going to make the Infernos and the Archer Queen all in the same compartment, and this is going to help his kill squad transition from one to the other somewhat seamlessly. So he's going to AQ walk, and while he's doing that, he's going to go ahead and start his Golem kill squad. I really, really like this. One of the problems with AQ walks is they're slow. But what you can do is you can essentially use your AQ split and Barbarian King split hero, and you can really be efficient. So he's going to go ahead and drop giants here. Now, the giants are there and Valkyries are there for a couple of reasons. Valkyries make a lot of sense because of the way these buildings are clumped. They're going to get in the middle and swing them down. Valkyries also do a fairly decent job tanking. And also, the giants are there because the giants prioritize point defenses. And they take them down relatively quickly, particularly under rage. So you'll note that this kill squad, the giants go in and they take out both Infernos, and this leaves his hogs free. Now, he had, I believe, 6 hogs, plus he has CC hogs, so those have all been dropped. And it may look like all these hogs are going to die, but they're not. So there he drops a heal to preserve them. And if you just take account of the number of point defenses remaining, you'll see that it is very few. The Archer Queen is progressing around the base. She's taken out quite a few. The Barbarian King's still alive. I've got a giant tanking for these hogs. And before you know it, there are only a few point defenses yet left. Yes, there are these minions from the Lava Hound that are going to take down a fair bit. You'll notice the healers are going to transition to that Barbarian King. The Archer Queen is at full health. But with the few hogs that he had, so he has 4 hogs remaining. Of his 13 hogs, they were able to take down a lot of defenses. So he got really good value for them. And you'll notice everything is kind of doing its job. The Archer Queen's progressing around the base and is now transitioning into a cleanup role. And before we can blink, this base is over. So very, very efficient attack from Stingray. I'm not sure if he was able to visualize all of the components of that, including the Archer Queen walk and just how much she would contribute, but I bet, knowing Stingray and how good he is, he probably did, and I can tell you that his attack probably went exactly according to plan. Okay, next attack is from Boot Chalk on their number 8. Now, Boot Chalk is a Town Hall 9, and he's going against a 9.5. You'll note no Infernos. And Boot's going to do a AQ Walk Govaho, a lot like we saw Stingray do, of course minus the giants because there are no Infernos. And you speed up just a tad because AQ Walks can be a little bit slow. But what Boot Chalk is able to do with his AQ Walk is he's able to take out the point defenses in one compartment, which would negate any giant bombs there. Now he's going to take out the point defenses in a second compartment, which would negate any of the giant bombs there. And then he's going to take out this CC Hound as well. So that's quite good value when you're trying to hog behind this. Now you'll note these squares here are almost certainly taken by Teslas. So really the only place that he could have issues with giant bombs is right over here. So we'll see how he's going to address that. Nice use of poison to take out those pups. Okay, so kill squad begins. We have just one golem. Whenever you're running this many healers, it's hard to fit a lot of golems, particularly when you've got Valkyries as well. And now he's got to jump to get his kill squad into this Archer Queen, just in case she doesn't come out, but she does. And just look what this jump accomplishes. It gets these Valkyries into the Archer Queen. Okay, great, they're down. But more importantly, it gets the Valkyries into this Tesla farm. We see a lot of Valkyries on in the meta now because so many people are using clumped up Teslas, and Valkyries just rip through them. Okay, so Nabu Choco is going to heal down south where there is a potential double giant bomb, and you'll note that he's already anticipated that his hogs would trip this one by one, and they do, and they're healed back to full, so that double giant bomb is completely negated. And then here's how he's going to address the other potential double giant bomb. Some suicide hogs. Brilliant. So, still has hogs left, transitioning to these final 5 point defenses. Already started his cleanup with minions and wizards. And that air sweeper is not going to pose any problem to these hogs, and so it is a straightforward cleanup from here. So, using it had the Archer Queen ability in reserve. Very nice attack from Nabu Choco to have a fresh 3-star on a Town Hall 9.5. Okay, next attack I want to, and Nabu Choco, by the way, had a 6-star war. So did Tito Spots, 6 stars, and here is his attack on their number 14. So this is AQ Walk with dragons. Now, the reason that AQ Walk makes such sense here is because you have an exposed air defense. So this air defense can be taken out by an AQ Walk, and so that's quite good value. You'll note he's also going to break into this compartment. We'll see why in a moment. Nice use of rage there. So here comes the Barbarian King. What the Barbarian King is there to do is he's essentially there to funnel the Archer Queen. What he's going to do is he's going to force that Archer Queen, hopefully, to go into that wall brick compartment and take out one of the air defenses. So now he has 2 air defenses down. The exposed one died to a wizard. His Archer Queen's still alive, tanking. You'll note he has Zap Quake, so spawns the CC. And he even still has another rage for his Archer Queen if he needs it here, but he also has Cloak. Poison's going to disjoint those attackers, going to really slow those limbs down. And now he's going to save his Cloak, didn't even need it. And here comes the Zap Quake on the 3rd air defense. Now he probably hoped that his Barbarian King could get that Archer Queen and possibly the air defense. But even though he didn't, it doesn't matter because of the nice pathing that his Archer Queen has created for his dragons. So now he starts his dragon portion. You notice he also has loons, help take out some of these point defenses quickly. And he's going to use his final rage here to get his queen into the opposing Archer Queen before his dragons get there. He wants to take out that opposing Archer Queen before his dragons get there. And there's a good reason for that. Even though the dragons will take down that Archer Queen very quickly, they will also ignore everything on their way to the Archer Queen, and that can kind of mess up pathing later on. So you'll note that his AQ Walk is still going along quite well, getting very good value for that. Now he pops his Cloak, and that's to increase his damage and get these dragons into the remaining air defense as quickly as possible. Note his Archer Queen is also taking out that final air defense. So 5 dragons left, a couple loons left. There is just nothing left to oppose this army, and Archer Queen is at full health. So really nice stuff here with this AQ walk and then dragons on the back end of it. Nice shaping. Next, I want to show you Sepulchre on their number 19. He also had a 6-star war and 6 fresh stars. And just look how efficient this attack is. So there's a moat, and you know the moat probably has all the Teslas and all the giant bombs, although there could be some on like this side and the other side. And Sepulchre is just going to go straight at it. So he's dropping plenty of wizards to create a funnel. Goes ahead and drops his Archer Queen. And then he's just going to jump his way into that moat. Doesn't need to worry about wall breakers, maybe getting taken out by a wizard tower. And now his Barbarian King has no choice but to take that funnel. Perfect. Poison on that CC. And the golems are doing a good job tanking lots of damage. You'll notice our Archer Queen's straying a little bit. Now she decides she's going to come back and take that jump, try to take out that dragon. So it gets the final shot on it, but it would have died to poison anyway. And now he started his hogging. So immediately drops a heal where there could be a single giant bomb, and there was. He counted the 2 single giant bombs in the middle, realized there must be 2 others symmetrical, and so he pre-healed that spot. Very wise. Notice his Barbarian King still up in the middle, providing some good tanking. His Archer Queen's beating on a wall. Typical, she didn't take the jump in time. What are you going to do? She's fickle. And he still has 1 heal spell left here for the 3-point defenses remaining, and drops it. I like this. Yes, you could probably get by without that heal, and you could save it for the end and swag heal it, but there's absolutely no reason to risk that. And then from here on, it's a simple matter of cleanup. He's got a wizard at the bottom, helping to clean there. Chew through those high hit point storages. And then meet toward the middle. And in no time at all, this base is done for. Now, we ran into a lot of symmetrical web bases, but Sepulchre showing you exactly how to approach that one. And then final attack, this is Charlieto on their number 21. This is also a very, very quick attack, and you're going to see why. So we start with golems up to the northeast. And we're going to wall break our way into that Archer Queen. Note he's running Earthquake, so no jump. We'll see how he's going to use those in a moment. In fact, the Earthquake gets him right into the core. So really good decision, Earthquake. Not really sure what the wall breakers were for, actually. So another CC Dragon. He's just going to heal his way through that. It's important when you're dropping Valkyries to try to get that dragon down as quickly as possible. So he's actually going to pop his Archer Queen ability just to try to take out that dragon quicker. But keeping the Valkyries under heal is also pretty important. Number 1, because you have Tesla farm in the middle. But number 2, because those dragons can really kill Valkyries quickly. But a heal spell keeps them up just fine. And now he's going to start his hogging. So he has used his hogs to completely skirt around almost all the giant bombs. They were all up here, and he skirted 3 of the 4. Well, there may be some down here, we'll see. And he's still got a heal spell left. He's being very patient with it. In fact, he doesn't use this heal spell. I would have preferred for him to use it maybe right here. Yes, you can get by without it, but these giant bombs take out more hogs than they needed to. But with 25-second cleanup, it doesn't seem to matter very much. It's nice having these Valkyries, even though primarily you think of Valkyries for core cleaning, they also are good cleanup troops, particularly when the spacing between the buildings is like that, when they're not separated by an empty tile. Okay, and now I wanted to show you the next war. So, okay, this one was comical. We were against a farming clan, and the farming clan had like their top 30 players were either Town Hall 10 or Town Hall 11. Lots of Infernos, lots of Eagle Artilleries, and us in comparison, we started Town Hall 9 on number 13. So most all the Town Hall 9s had to attack bases with Infernos and or Eagle artilleries, and that's really no fun for a Town Hall 9. But we did well as a result. But before I show you our attacks, I want to show you what kind of attacks they do. So here is a Town Hall 11, one of the top Town Hall 11s, with a bully attack on our number 37 out of 40, one of our lowest. So level 7 giants are quite tanky, quite beefy, so we're going to go ahead and drop a bunch of those. And let's single stream in a bunch of hogs and just hope against all hope there isn't a double giant bomb there. And hope that against hope that there's not a CC dragon. Well, he lucks out. There is not a CC dragon. There is not a double giant bomb there, so those hogs are going to get decent value. But you know what? We're running 3 lightnings and 5 poisons. So we want to take down those healers because they're healing up that barbarian king. So let's lightning them. Okay, that didn't quite work. Let's lightning them. All right, that still didn't quite work. So, okay, let's poison them, and then let's poison that elixir collector because its sight offends me. And okay, that's going to take down the healers finally. And now these giants, well, let's triple poison those skeletons. You know, we want them to die very quickly. So they do. These golems are still alive. Barbarian King proceeding around the base. Archer Queen is not available, obviously. She's upgrading to probably level 11. And now these giants are going to beat on walls, and this Grand Warden is going to attack very slowly with next to no DPS. I think the wizards probably do about 5 times as much damage as the Grand Warden. These giants are going to get weakened by this double giant bomb. It's a shame we don't have a heal spell for them, but couldn't fit it in our 5 or 5.5 spells. And so now all of a sudden it's basically just the Grand Warden and 2 wizards. Make that 1 wizard. It takes out that cannon, okay, and then the Grand Warden is just going to beat on buildings for a long, long time until he runs out of time. Fortunately, it ran out of time, otherwise this Grand Warden might have cleared another percent or 2. I mean, it's possible. So this is the kind of attack that we ran into, and you know, I don't mean to fault them. They're a farming clan, fine. I really fault Supercell for matching us up with this kind of algorithm where it's okay for a clan with 30 Town Hall 10s and 11s gets matched up against a clan with 12. Okay, so on to our attacks. We 3-starred all of their Town Hall 9s very easily, and then we 3-starred actually quite a few of their Town Hall 10s and Town Hall 11s, even with our Town Hall 9s. But it's hard to try to get a perfect war when you're dealing with that many Inferno towers. So let's look at Apex's attack on their number 7. So this is a Town Hall 9.5, or I guess it's a Town Hall 11 without Infernos. I'm not entirely sure what that makes it in the decimal system. But Apex is doing an AQ Walk La Lune. It makes a ton of sense. Even though these air defenses are appropriate level, or fairly close, they are exposed. All 4 of them are actually exposed. If you had it long enough, you could AQ Walk all the way around the space. There's really no Inferno towers to contest that. And you could take out all of the air defenses. So he's going to rage, and then he's going to break into this compartment. I really, really like this decision. The reason that I like it so much is it gives that queen a very nice path to the air defense. So she's going to take out that air defense before it can hit the healers, which is always nice. And it's also going to give her a nice angle on this archer queen. So, oh, by the way, this clan didn't fill their war CCs, so I don't think any of them had any troops in their war CCs. So because of that, you don't have to bother with trying to lure. There's nothing to lure. So now we start hound attack. And the pathing for the air defenses is ideal because they're on the periphery of the base. And you don't worry so much about Inferno towers melting your loons without hounds tanking because there are no Inferno towers. So Apex has a good composition here, although in hindsight, when the air defenses are this accessible, you may want to take 1 or 2 fewer hounds. And you're going to see why, what I mean here in a moment. These wizard towers, leveled up this high, actually do very good work against loons, particularly when they're clumped like this. So what happens is all the loons are taken out, and we just have 4, yes, all 4 hounds, not a single one spawned. taking on these last two defenses. Okay, there's one that pops. By the way, the EQ walk's still going along swimmingly, and now we bring in the king for a cleanup. So this archer tower against 3 hounds, it's kind of like when you have an extra hound and you're like, well, I don't just want to dump it, so you take it to a goblin map, and it's your 1 hound against like 5 defenses, and of course the hound wins. It takes forever. Well, the attack works, but as you can see, the base design was pretty bad. The Apex did a good job in figuring out just how to exploit that. Okay, next attack is Judy taking on their number 9. Now this base does have appropriate level air defenses and leveled up infernos, and hero levels are not too bad compared to what we saw elsewhere. And Judy is going to do an AQ Walk Laloon as well. Now you know Judy is pretty much a max Town Hall 11, so he has a max Grand Warden. But don't worry, Judy's going to be fair. He's not even going to use his Grand Warden in this attack. So first, Rage is perfectly placed not only for the Archer Queen and for the healers, but more importantly for that Wall Breaker. That was really nice, getting that Wall Breaker in and using Rage to save a Wall Breaker or 2 from your composition. Really efficient. Now, second Rage, because you're tanking 3 or 4 point defenses at a time, and you want to get through them quickly. You also want to try to get these buildings damaged as quickly as possible when they're separating your Archer Queen from an Inferno Tower. You see she's taking that Inferno Tower now, and you want to take it for as little amount of time as possible. Of course, she's going to beat on that. The Dark Elixir storage, so you have to use a Rage again, and a Cloak ability. The nice thing is the healers get the Archer Queen back almost to full, so that she can resume tanking that Inferno Tower. And then starting the Laloon attack. So there are still 3 air defenses remaining, but he has his Laloon attack on the far side from one of those air defenses. So it's possible the Archer Queen is going to get in there and take it out before the Laloon gets there. We'll see how that works. Good pathing and good spell usage freezes that Inferno Tower right as the Loons come to take it out. Has a haste just to get his units through the core quicker. And here goes the Archer Queen taking out that final air defense. It gets off 2 shots, but that's inconsequential. And now he could drop a cleanup Grand Warden, but he doesn't need it. And let's be honest, cleanup and Grand Warden in the same sentence is kind of a joke. So we'll speed through this cleanup, but in a very short amount of time. The pups get over there and it's over. Okay, next attack is probably the most impressive. This is Dylan taking on their number 11. Dylan is a Town Hall 9, and he's taking on a Town Hall 11. And he's going to start by zapping the air defense. Tries to get the Queen. She survives with a sliver of health. It's very difficult to zap the Queen these days. She has a small hitbox. Perhaps poison, keeping her next to that air defense a little longer, would have done it, but I'm not sure you want to commit that spell. Some lovely outside giant bombs, which he didn't know about. This is a fresh attack. But now he's going to start his Laloon. So he's going to start with on this exposed Eagle artillery, and his Loons take it down before it can contribute too much. That's helpful. And of course there are double walls, and the wall structure is kind of annoying, but the Loons don't care about that. And he has a freeze spell. Could have committed it to this Inferno and air defense, and I wouldn't have blamed him, but he's going to hold it for that final Inferno. So his Hound gets taken out right as his Loons are pretty close, and now here comes that freeze, and here comes that haste, and that's going to get his Loons into that Inferno quickly. Taking out an Inferno quickly is of paramount importance when you, well, at any level, but particularly when you're Town Hall 9 and you don't have the army space, the camp space that you would at, say, Town Hall 10. And from here on out, it's just a straightforward cleanup. It has tons of Loons left, like 15 Loons left, something ridiculous like that. And for attacking a Town Hall 11 with both Infernos and an Eagle artillery, yes, with a bad base design, but still, it's very hard for a Town Hall 9 to do. I went up against a Town Hall 11 with Eagle artillery and Infernos, and I had to pick my poison. I got the Infernos, but the Eagle artillery just wrecked me. Okay, next is Hakimaki, who had a 6-star war on 2 Town Hall 10 targets, so that's very impressive. and he's got an AQ walk with hogs. Now, AQ walk makes tons and tons of sense for a number of reasons, some of which I've elaborated on before. First, it makes sense because the attack timer was increased by 30 seconds, and AQ walks are slow, but you have more time with that added 30 seconds. Also, whenever you have centralized infernos, your AQ can get tons and tons of value because your only real way of contesting the Archer Queen is either through like high-level heroes with a bunch of point defense, or maybe at an obnoxious clan castle like P.E.K.K.A.s, but you never see P.E.K.K.A.s at Town Hall 10, and we didn't see any clan castle troops at all in this war. And that's really the only way you can contest an Archer Queen walk like this. Obviously, you can make them invest a lot of effort into it through spells and through time, but the Archer Queen walk almost always gets good value. Well, gets good value if you get her to go the way you want her to go. And so this AQ walk is a little bit slow. I'm going to speed it up a bit. But you notice he started his kill squad in the northeast, and his AQ is helping to provide a funnel in that direction. Now, he has also EQ'd a couple of walls. That's going to open up that Inferno Tower. So all he needs to do is wall break into this first compartment, and then he'll have a direct path into the first Inferno Tower and into the Town Hall. Goes ahead and pops his Barbarian King ability. Now he's not using giants to do damage. Instead, he's using just traditional wizards. And now he's going to drop his hogs. There still is an Inferno Tower left, but he actually wants his hogs to take out that Inferno Tower. Sometimes you can do this if you have a good funnel for your hogs into the Inferno Tower, and sometimes you can't. Your hogs will just wrap around it, and it's kind of like dragons at Town Hall 8, where they just kept wrapping around the air defense, and the air defense just picked them all off. Sometimes that happens with Inferno Towers at Town Hall 10, so having a good funnel to that Inferno Tower is really important. It's the difference between succeeding with hogging against Inferno Towers and not. Now, he had a spare rage spell from his AQ walk, so he just uses it for his hogs to power through some buildings a little quicker. Another reason why we see so many AQ La Lunes is because the spell synergy is really nice. You've got rages and hastes, and if you have spare rages left over from your AQ walk, well, your La Lune attack's going to use them very well. It's unlike hogging, where you have to kind of count your spells, and you have to hope you're bringing the right number of heal spells, and you kind of feel bad because your heal spells are detracting from rage spells, etc. But in very little time, Haki takes out the remainder of the base, and even though this was his mirror, you know, this was a Town Hall 10 with Infernos, that's no easy feat. So anyway, decent war, and in our current war, we're matched up against a clan level 9 who out-levels us with Town Hall 11s 7-2, and they have another Town Hall 10 opposite me, so that's fun. And so I'm still not content with the matchmaking. You see they balance it out with a Town Hall 7. We'll try to have some, maybe we have a really good war and we can have some funny ways of clearing that Town Hall 7 in the next recap. And I hope you'll tune into that in a day or two.